Good morning. My name is Mike Figurelli, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about hearing protection and hearing loss prevention. We'll show the students how to recognize sound hazards in the construction industry, created by power tools, heavy machineries, and work in general. We will also identify the types of hearing protection available. Here's some earmuffs, 2 different types of earplugs. We'll also introduce the terminology associated with hearing loss and decibel exposure. Hearing loss can be chronic or acute. Tinnitus, which is ringing of the inner ear, frequency of the sound, which are the vibrations per second, and the NRR, which is the noise reduction rating of hearing protection. Please use precautions when using earplugs. You don't want to get any infections in your ears, so you want to make sure your hands are clean. So anyway, we have a few types of hearing protection here we're going to take a look at. We have a handout that I've given to each of you, and it shows the noise level of different tools we commonly use. The majority of the construction workers will suffer some hearing loss over a lifetime. However, if you use hearing protection, this damage can be prevented. Remember, once you lose the ability to hear, your ears will not recover. The loss is permanent. Something to think about, isn't it? What I'd like you to do right now is take the palms of your hands and cover your ears. Hold them tight as I talk. What you're hearing is what your sound level might be like in 30 years if you don't use hearing protection. You notice you're not hearing the higher frequencies? You can take your hands down now. Thank you. Now let's discover the other areas of the body hearing loss could affect. Increased blood pressure, stress, nervousness, sleeplessness, and fatigue. You might be suffering that and not even realize that that's happened to you just due to the years of your hearing loss. So it's just something to really keep in mind, how important it is to try to keep what you have. You're not going to get it back. We'll also discuss what decibel levels will be required for hearing protection. We're going to discuss how to properly wear your hearing protection. So, let's review the noise chart I put out in front of you. See the yellow line you have running up and down this page here? At the bottom, you're also going to notice the decibel level running across the sheet. Okay? Decibels are a way to accurately measure your sound levels. So, you'll see the line protrude at 85 decibel level. The reason why it's at that number is 85 decibels is the number at which you really need to start wearing hearing protection. So I downloaded an app on my phone, my iPhone. It's called Decibel Meter. There's several available, whether it's just an Android or an iPhone, whatever you have. So before I started the presentation, I checked the sound level of one of the drills that we have in our shop. It averaged around 89 decibels over a 30-second period. I did the same for a 7¼ inch Skill brand circular saw. That averaged around 100 decibels. So according to OSHA, acceptable level is 85 decibels over an 8-hour period. Therefore, we should be wearing some type of protection. If we look in our OSHA book, you turn to page 180, I highlighted a little section for you down here, and it shows the permissible noise levels, okay? That's, by the way, just to make sure you know, that's 1926.52, okay? If the permissible noise levels are exceeded, employers should provide hearing protection. So let's take a look at the hearing protection. All right. This probably isn't as good as this type of protection. I've always found it worked for me on the job for a lot of reasons. One, even if I'm wearing a hard hat, I put these on, and this brand in particular, this happens to be MSA, The piece connecting the muffs swivels, so I could wear it underneath my hard hat. I even had a couple muffs like this. I don't have them with me, but they clip into the side of my hard hats. They perform the same function. So, one of the reasons maybe they're not as good as these is because if you're wearing glasses like I am now, unfortunately, there could be a little channel formed in here. You have that channel formed, that can allow some of the sound through, so they might not be as good as these foam type. I don't care for putting these in my ears, but they're better type. So if you were to try them, the proper way to wear them. I wash my hands, by the way, just to make sure you're all aware of that. You want to just take these and roll these up in your fingers. You want to get them down fairly tight. You want to make sure you get them down as tight as you can. So you're, let's say, you're rolling this up, and you kind of have it to where it's squeezed nice and tight. You could pull your lobe back a little bit, or your ear, insert them. The directions tell you to, after you progressively compress this, and it's crease-free, it only creases in there, they tell you to ensure the proper fitting. After it's compressed and it's in your ear canal, you want to hold it for 30 to 60 seconds until the ear plug expands. So, just for this demonstration, I didn't want to wait that long, so it's expanding my ear right now. I can kind of feel it. And once it expands, you might want to just push it in again for about 5 seconds, just to ensure that fit. When it's properly inserted, the flange of the ear plug is located at the opening of the ear canal. Fairly simple, right? Does anybody have any questions? Well, let's just summarize then. First of all, hearing damage is irreversible, excuse me. That's one thing, right? Just to keep that in mind. Once you lose it, it's gone forever. The other thing is, you don't have to be the person operating the tool, right? Somebody else could be operating those tools in your area, and you're still getting that damage done. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's not just about you. 3, we just showed you. Just keep in mind, hearing loss is preventable, right, through protection. 4, you're on a job and you're thinking, well, who's responsible, for determining if it's a permissible level, which is 85 decibels. We all kind of determined, right? That's a permissible level for your 8-hour workday. So you might say, well, the employer's responsible, right? Well, it might be true, but it's my hearing, so that's what I'm concerned with. So remember, if you need to speak in an elevated voice to somebody, chances are you're probably over the permissible limit. So you might want to think about hearing detection at that point. Or take out the meter you now have on your phone. Check out the area, see what you're coming up with. Ultimately, I really feel it's up to you. So it's just something to remember. 5th point. For hearing protection to be effective, it must be worn correctly. So, does anybody have any questions at all? I know I asked that, I'll just ask a second time before we wrap up. Butch, do you know what decibel level must be required for hearing protection?
No, I don't.
Okay. 85 decibels. That's where we're at. Once you reach that level of sound, that noise level, that's when you want to start wearing hearing protection. Which frequencies are the first to be dismissed? Anybody? That's right. The high frequencies. That's where you start losing the first bit of hearing, is with your high frequencies. What is this sound that is caused by tinnitus? Does anybody remember? Tom? Thank you. Yes, you're right. It's just a constant ringing in the ears. You might be laying down at night in bed, you'll just hear that constant ringing. That's tinnitus. That's what that is. Well, I guess to end this this lesson, what I'd like you all to do is just line up. I want you to take the hair protection that's provided, and I want you to all just perform and show me how you put this in, and I'll conclude what we're doing today.